Hey guys, this is Coach Micheal, Burt, the Super Coach. Welcome to another episode of Good Coach, Bad Coach. Secrets of great coaches know that the others never figure out. And we believe a good coach can change your life. We believe 1 hour, one podcast, one radio show can change your life. And we appreciate you watching Good Coach, Bad Coach every week. We believe, Bruce, what? That there's a lot of bad coaches.
Bad coaches suck. That's what you
in
believe.
the world. We believe if you have a bad coach, and I've been asking people this that I coach, do you believe that trained people outperform untrained people any day of the week? Do you believe the better the coach, the better the team? I've been reading a book while I was in Florida on Nick Saban, The Making of a Coach. It's been a fascinating read. And there's a lot of things about how he came, he's a lot like his father, Senior Nick, how he became such a great coach. And I believe who's coaching you really matters. And so we come to you every week on the Greatness Network. That's greatnessnetwork.com. And we tackle hard subjects for managers. We've got a program called Turn Your Managers into Coaches.
World-class program.
And it's online and in person and for coaches that are out there. And I got a lot of good friends that are coaches. Some of my best friends lost this weekend in games. And so they're back at it this Monday trying to figure out how to win, how to get it back, how to get their mojo back. So thank you for watching the show. Bruce, let's talk about what the topic is.
It is end of the year evaluation time, Coach. And so this topic came to me when I remember one time, this is many, many years ago when I first met you. You had one question: would I play for myself? Would I want to play for myself? And so that's really a question we have for managers. Would you want to work for yourself? Would you, as a coach, would you want to play for you? And so the question really is it time to fire your own self?
Yeah.
Okay? Because it is the end of the year. And my question for you then is, was there ever a year where you said, man, I just did not perform the way I should have. I need to fire my own self?
Yeah. What's interesting, as I've been reading this book on Saban, how it was incredibly difficult for Saban to work for Belichick. He actually was an assistant for Belichick for several years and absolutely hated it. He hated working for a guy that was that demanding that he would become because they clashed about certain things. So the question really is this: would I get excited? And we got to start thinking about this because people are a lot softer today than they used to be. Mm-hmm. They're not as emotionally tough. They can't handle the grind. They can't handle you pushing them. So here's the question: what do your people get from you? What is it they get from you? Would you get excited about working for you? Is there something in it for you? Are you getting knowledge? Are you getting skill? Are you getting desire? Are you getting confidence? Because I've gone through a lot of people where a lot of people said they didn't want to work for me. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Many times it was my fault for hiring the wrong people. I think now we've got a group of people that buckle down. They want the coaching.
Just a group of ballers.
They want it. They want to get better.
Right.
But at times I've had people that maybe didn't want that. So it was just as much my fault as theirs, and I'll take responsibility for that. That's why I think the Colby Index and different personality profiles can really buckle down here. And so what we're asking is, would you fire you? And the answer to that is yes. There are times that I wouldn't want to work for me. There are times that I can be incredibly difficult and demanding, but it has a lot to do with my personality style, is that I'm a control freak. I want to control everything. And so it's hard for me to let things go to other people when I say, can they do it as good as I would do it? And if they can't, and that's a control thing. So I've been in Florida the last week, as you know. I've turned a lot of things over to you. I've turned a lot of things over to my team.
Company has grown exponentially as a result of that?
Exponential would be a very loose word. But the company has grown. Things have gotten done. We have made sales. We've been operationally responsible. So I've actually, this was some first early signs for me that we were really hiring the right people and building a team that could actually get things done without me there. So, yes, if you're out there watching us on Periscope, share this puppy, share it, swipe and share and tell people to join us. Some good stuff. Tommy Davidson, good to see you, brother. Bruce, next question.
Hey, Tommy, it's good to see you over there at Toots today. I probably shouldn't tell Coach that. We ran into Tommy over there at Toots. That guy's never seen a meal he didn't want to go eat. So, Tommy, good to see you. Let's go ahead and get into the next question then. If you are a coach or a manager, how do you assess this at the end of the year? Do you sit down? Is it quantifiable? Is it qualitative? What are key areas, or is there a filter that you would go through and say, okay, I am not attractive in this area as a manager or a coach?
Well, I think the older I get, the more I'm coming back to is it, are you hiring the right people? Are you aligning yourself with other people who believe the same things you do? One of my values is come early, stay late. It's go the distance. It's have the grind. It's don't whine, don't complain, don't make excuses. So sometimes you may say it's me. Sometimes it may be you just hired the wrong people.
Yeah.
And it's just not working. But there are things definitely about every leader that we can get more attractive with. We can get better and we can get more attractive with what we're doing. And I think that's something that happens as you get older and as you start to mature as a leader.
But is it, like I said, let's focus on the quantitative versus qualitative, because we have a lot of coaching programs, and when we sit down with people, we do focus on quantitative, which is the measurements, actual numbers, you're hitting your sales goals. And athletics, you're 120 games this year, versus the qualitative side is you just know you're getting better.
Yeah.
And you can't really pinpoint what it is. But was there ever a year that you had reached all your goals quantitatively where, okay, we won 20 games, we've hit this benchmark, but you just knew there was more out there, qualitative?
Yeah, I think there's a difference between quantitative and qualitative. And qualitative, and we got to wrap this up to the next segment, but I'll say this. Qualitative, you can feel it, but you can't measure it. Think qualitative is chemistry, trust, buy-in, knowledge. Qualitative is where you can feel yourself getting better. Quantitative is where you can measure it. So yes, there were games that we won that I didn't feel good about. There were seasons that we had that we didn't feel good about. And here was my measurement stick. I didn't have any fun. It drained my energy. I didn't like the people I was working with. They didn't like me. And these are all things that you need to think about as it relates to good coaches and bad coaches. What's the purpose if we get up and accomplish things but we don't enjoy it? You're watching Good Coach, Bad Coach. I'm the super coach, Micheal Burt. You can follow us at CoachBurt.com. Follow the next Burt on Twitter.
Bruce Lund,
at
Lund.
Bruce Lund. He's got a little extra giddy up in him today. Maybe he has a few drinks over too, so I don't know. So when you think
Good
about
time,
this,
Tommy. Thanks for that.
when we come back after the segment, Good Coach, Bad Coach. A lot of great coaches in the world, a lot of bad coaches in the world, and that's why we do this show. Hey, this is Coach Micheal Burt, and I have a prediction. Within the next 5 years, every manager in the world will have to become a coach. You know, a good coach will do 3 things for you. They make you have conversations you don't want to have. They make you do some things you don't want to do. They'll help you become something you didn't think you could become. This transition, what I call the coaching revolution, prompted me to create a program called Turn Your Managers into Coaches. What we want to do is drive up engagement, drive up production. We want to become a manager other people want to follow. If you've got managers out there that you want to turn into coaches that engage people in systematic behaviors that allows them to do something tomorrow they simply cannot do today, pick up the phone and call us, 225-8380, 615-225-8380, or email us at info@coachburt.com, and we're going to teach you how to turn your managers into great coaches. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Coach, Bad Coach, segment number 2. We're talking, would you fire you? And this is a question at the end of the year you need to be asking. Are you a pleasure to work with? Do people enjoy working with you? Are they attracted to what you're doing? Do they want to bring their best self? And Bruce, what I would like to share in this segment is about the commitment continuum. I think this is very important. I've been sharing this as part of our Turn Your Managers into Coaches program, is that
The commitment continuum.
I have a body, a mind, a heart, and a spirit. Each of those parts produce 4 different needs, 4 different dimensions, 4 different capacities. I actually have a choice about how much I give to you. And so the commitment continuum says I can rebel or quit, which is the lowest level of commitment. I can maliciously obey, which is a very negative form of undermining. I can willingly comply, which means I just give you a little bit of myself just to get through the day. I can give you creative excitement, heartfelt commitment, and here's what happens. If I don't believe in you, then I only give you a part of myself. So if a person checks out in their heart, if they check out in their spirit, if they check out in their mind, then in essence what they are is they're just there physically with the body.
Yeah.
So if people would not get excited about playing for you, then what's happening is they're checking out with their most important parts, which is their mind and their heart and their spirit. And that's called the commitment continuum from low to high.
Well, let's wrap up the show with one last question here.
Okay.
And it's a very loaded question, so it could take a few minutes to work through. But we've really focused on the end of the year and looking back. Let's look at the future now. What are things that you can look at to go through the filter and figure out, what are my missing structures? How do I improve upon them? I know one concept you talk a lot about is 2.2 millimeters of change. Every great plastic surgeon will never make more than 2.2 millimeters of change in a patient. So maybe you don't have to overhaul the whole thing when you're a bad manager or a coach, but how do you run it through a filter?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you think about this, 2.2 millimeters of change is a small change that could have significant impact. And one of the biggest missing structures I see in coaches is they never take time to celebrate success. They constantly want more. No matter what you do, it's never good enough. They live in the perfectionism gap. They live in the gap between where you are versus where they think you should be. And so they don't know how to celebrate success. So you make up your mind, you're going to have a little bit more of Pete Carroll in you. You may make up your mind you're a mix between the toughness of a Saban, but the energy of a Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
You're going to have fun at work. You're going to be somebody that people, you're going to sow into your people. And this is an area I've gotten, I feel like, significantly better, is I do take more time with my people now. I do have teaching sessions. I do, and in the old days, I wouldn't do that. It's up to you. Figure it out. You're a big boy. You're a big girl. Now I spend a lot of time sewing in and training and coaching. And I used the example with my team today, you know, of Jesus. He took 12 unlikely characters, fishermen. They were not that strong. And through daily interaction and coaching and teaching and parables.
Wait, what are you trying to say here?
Yeah, I mean, well, my guys are pretty strong. Me a little bit stronger than Peter. And so when you think about it, through daily interaction, he actually transformed these folks. They did bail out on him at a very crucial time until he came back. And then they got on board, and then they went out and really bought into what he was saying. But that's kind of the point. Your 2.2 millimeters of change may be, I'm going to have some more fun, I'm going to delegate more this year, and I'm going to really believe in my people.
I love it, man.
Good coach, bad coach. Every week we believe a good coach can change your life.
Turn your managers into coaches coming out 2016. Be on the lookout, guys.
We got a great program. Turn your managers into coaches in person and online. We're doing it for some of the biggest companies in the world, and we will transition your managers into coaches other people want to play for. And what will happen is your engagement will go through the roof, and engagement is directly tied to production. Good coach, bad coach. Thank you for watching this week.
Thank you, guys.